The Jewish Wealth Wisdom, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. Lesson 1. Education is a lifelong investment. In the rich tapestry of Jewish cultural wisdom, perhaps no thread shines more brightly than the unwavering commitment to education. This dedication goes far beyond traditional schooling. It represents a fundamental approach to life that has enabled countless generations to thrive in diverse circumstances across the centuries. The ancient rabbis taught that learning is the highest form of worship, and this principle has transformed into a powerful economic engine in modern times. When everything else could be taken away, property, possessions, even freedom, knowledge remained an indestructible asset. This historical reality shaped a cultural value that continues to create wealth and opportunity today. Consider how this principle manifests in practical terms. While others might spend disposable income on temporary pleasures, those who embrace educational investment allocate resources to courses, books, mentorship, and skill development. This isn't about collecting degrees for display. A doctor who regularly attends conferences, a business owner who studies emerging technologies, or an artist who masters new techniques all exemplify this approach. The power of continuous learning extends beyond formal education. It encompasses the habit of treating every experience as an opportunity for growth. Successful entrepreneurs often attribute their achievements not to their initial business plan, but to their ability to learn from failures and adapt to changing circumstances. They understand that education isn't a finite period in life, but a perpetual process of growth. This principle becomes particularly powerful when applied to financial education. While many people avoid learning about money management, viewing it as too complex or boring, those who embrace financial literacy gain an enormous advantage. Understanding investment principles, tax strategies, and economic cycles becomes a form of compound interest, for the mind builds upon the last to create exponential return. The modern economy increasingly rewards those who can learn, unlearn, and relearn as circumstances change. Technologies evolve, industries transform, and new opportunities emerge at an unprecedented pace. In this environment, the ancient Jewish emphasis on lifelong learning proves remarkably prescient. Those who continuously invest in their education position themselves to spot opportunities others miss and adapt to changes others fear. Implementation of this principle begins with a shift in perspective. Rather than viewing education as a cost, see it as an investment with potentially unlimited returns. This might mean allocating a fixed percentage of your income to learning opportunities, just as you would to savings or investments. It could involve setting aside dedicated time each day for reading and study, even if only for 15 minutes. The beauty of educational investment lies in its versatility. For some, it means pursuing advanced degrees or professional certifications. For others, it involves self-directed learning through books, online courses, or mentorship relationships. The specific path matters less than the consistent commitment to growth and development. This approach to education also transforms how we view setbacks and challenges. Instead of seeing failures as defeats, they become valuable learning experiences and payments tuition paid for real-world education. This resilient mindset, coupled with accumulated knowledge, creates a powerful foundation for building and preserving wealth. Education encompasses more than academic or professional knowledge. It includes understanding people, developing emotional intelligence, and cultivating wisdom. These soft skills often prove as valuable as technical expertise in creating and maintaining wealth. The most successful people recognize that true education integrates all aspects of human experience, intellectual, practical, and spiritual. Lesson 2. Family is the foundation of wealth. In Jewish tradition, wealth isn't merely measured by the numbers in a bank account. It flows through the bonds of family relationships. The family unit serves as both the emotional cornerstone and the economic engine that drives generational prosperity. This profound understanding has helped Jewish families preserve and grow their wealth across centuries, even in the face of historical adversity. The family structure creates a natural framework for financial collaboration and support. When family members pool their resources, share knowledge, and work together toward common goals, they can achieve far more than people acting alone. This multiplier effect extends beyond mere financial resources. It encompasses shared wisdom, connections, and opportunities that can benefit every family member. Jewish families traditionally approach financial education as a core parental responsibility. From an early age, children are taught the value of money, the importance of saving, and the principles of wise financial management. These lessons often take place around the dinner table, where families discuss business opportunities, investment decisions, and financial challenges openly. This transparency helps children develop a healthy relationship with money and understand its role in creating security and opportunity. The concept of intergenerational wealth planning is deeply embedded in Jewish family culture. Parents and grandparents actively involve younger generations in financial decisions, gradually transferring both knowledge and responsibility. This approach ensures that wealth doesn't just pass between generations, it grows through each generation's contribution of new ideas and energy. Family businesses represent another powerful expression of this principle. When families work together, they create enterprises that combine the wisdom of experience with the innovation of youth. These businesses often benefit from high levels of trust, shared values, and long-term thinking that can give them a competitive advantage. Family members are more likely to sacrifice short-term gains for long-term stability and growth, knowing that they're building something that will benefit future generations. The family unit also provides a crucial safety net during challenging times. When one family member faces financial difficulties, others can step in with support, advice, and resources. This mutual support system helps prevent catastrophic financial losses and enables family members to take calculated risks in pursuit of new opportunities. It's a form of informal insurance that has helped Jewish families maintain their economic resilience through countless historical challenges. Marriage decisions in Jewish culture are traditionally viewed through both an emotional and practical lens. Partners are evaluated not just for their personal qualities, but for their potential contribution to the family's overall prosperity. This doesn't mean that marriages are arranged purely for financial reasons, but rather that the long-term financial implications of partnerships are carefully considered alongside emotional compatibility. Modern Jewish families continue to adapt these principles for contemporary times. They create family investment clubs where members pool resources for larger opportunities. They establish family foundations that combine charitable giving with financial education for younger generations. They hold regular family meetings to discuss financial goals, challenges, and strategies. These practices help maintain strong family bonds while building and preserving wealth across generations. The foundation of family wealth extends beyond financial assets to encompass what economists call human capital, the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of family members. Jewish families typically invest heavily in developing this human capital through education, mentorship, and professional development. They understand that well-educated, skilled family members are themselves a form of wealth that can generate returns for generations to come. Lesson 3: Charity attracts blessings. In Jewish tradition, charity isn't merely an act of kindness, it's a fundamental principle of creating and maintaining wealth. The Hebrew word tzedakah transcends the common understanding of charity, representing righteousness and justice through giving. This ancient wisdom recognizes that generosity creates a powerful cycle of abundance that benefits both the giver and the receiver. The practice of giving has been scientifically proven to activate pleasure centers in the brain, reducing stress and increasing overall well-being. But beyond the psychological benefits, strategic giving creates valuable networks and opportunities that often return manifold to the giver. When you contribute to your community or causes you care about, you become part of a larger ecosystem of like-minded people who share your values and aspirations. Jewish leaders throughout history have demonstrated how charitable giving opens doors to new relationships and opportunities. Consider the story of Sir Moses Montefiore, a 19th-century businessman who became one of the most famous philanthropists of his time. His generous contributions not only helped countless communities, but also expanded his influence and business connections across continents. This pattern continues today, with modern philanthropists finding that their charitable work often leads to valuable business partnerships and investment opportunities. The concept of Masler, giving 1/10 of one's income, provides a practical framework for systematic giving. This isn't about random acts of generosity, but rather a disciplined approach to sharing wealth. By setting aside a specific portion of income for charitable purposes, you create a sustainable giving practice that grows with your success. This systematic approach ensures that giving becomes an integral part of your financial strategy rather than an afterthought. Strategic philanthropy goes beyond simply writing checks. It involves identifying causes where your contribution can create meaningful impact while aligning with your values and expertise. For instance, if you're a successful technology entrepreneur, you might focus on funding educational programs that teach coding to underprivileged youth. This targeted approach multiplies the impact of your giving while building valuable connections in your professional sphere. The Jewish approach to charity also emphasizes the importance of giving even when resources are limited. Starting small and giving consistently builds the muscle of generosity and trains you to see abundance rather than scarcity. As your wealth grows, this mindset enables you to scale your giving without fear or hesitation. Many successful Jewish businesses have giving built into their business models from day one, recognizing that growth and generosity are interconnected. Creating a personal giving plan requires thoughtful consideration of your values, resources, and desired impact. Consider starting with small, regular contributions to causes you care about, then gradually increasing your giving as your means allow. Pay attention to how your giving affects both the recipients and your own life. Notice the connections, opportunities, and sense of purpose that emerge from your generosity. The wisdom of charitable giving extends beyond immediate financial returns. It creates a legacy of positive impact that can span generations. When children observe their parents engaging in meaningful philanthropy, they learn valuable lessons about money, responsibility, and community. This intergenerational transfer of values often proves more valuable than the transfer of wealth itself. In today's interconnected world, the ancient wisdom of tzedakah remains remarkably relevant. Social impact investing, corporate social responsibility, and sustainable business practices all reflect the fundamental truth that success and giving are inseparable. By embracing charity as a core financial principle, you position yourself to receive the many blessings, both tangible and intangible, that flow from generous living. Lesson 4. Saving is sacred. In Jewish tradition, the act of saving money transcends mere financial prudence. It represents a sacred commitment to future security and generational prosperity. This profound respect for saving stems from centuries of historical experiences, where financial reserves often meant the difference between survival and destitution during challenging times. The ancient Jewish sages taught that one should always divide their income into 3 portions: one for basic living expenses, one for business or investments, and one for savings. This timeless wisdom acknowledges that saving isn't what's left after spending, but rather a deliberate act that comes before discretionary expenses. This principle of paying yourself first remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Jewish financial wisdom emphasizes the importance of maintaining an emergency fund, traditionally enough to sustain a family for at least 1 year. This practice emerged from a deep understanding that life is inherently unpredictable, and that true freedom comes from having the resources to weather unexpected storms. The concept extends beyond mere emergency planning. It's about creating a buffer that allows one to make decisions from a position of strength rather than desperation. The practice of saving in Jewish culture is intrinsically linked to the concept of responsibility to future generations. Parents are taught to save not only for their own security, but also to provide their children with educational opportunities and the means to start their own businesses or families. This multi-generational perspective transforms saving from a personal choice into a sacred obligation to ensure family continuity and prosperity. Yet Jewish wisdom also teaches that saving should be balanced with living a meaningful life in the present. The goal isn't to hoard wealth, but to accumulate it purposefully. This means finding the right balance between saving for tomorrow and investing in today's quality of life. The key lies in understanding that true wealth isn't just about the quantity of money saved, but about the security and opportunities it provides. Modern application of these principles suggests starting with small, consistent savings habits, regardless of income level. Even setting aside a modest percentage of earnings regularly can grow into significant wealth over time through the power of compound interest, a concept well understood in Jewish financial teachings. This consistent approach to saving helps develop financial discipline and creates a foundation for larger financial goals. The sacred nature of saving in Jewish tradition also extends to how savings are protected and grown. Conservative investment approaches are often favored over high-risk speculation, reflecting the teaching that preservation of capital is as important as its growth. This doesn't mean avoiding all risk, but rather taking calculated risks while maintaining a strong base of secure savings. Beyond the practical aspects, saving holds a deeper spiritual significance in Jewish thought. It represents faith in the future, trust in divine providence, and the wisdom to prepare for both opportunities and challenges ahead. This spiritual dimension elevates the act of saving from a mundane financial practice to a meaningful expression of values and foresight. The discipline of saving also teaches valuable lessons about delayed gratification and self-control. In an age of instant gratification and easy credit, the commitment to saving requires swimming against the cultural current. It demands the strength to say no to immediate pleasures for the sake of long-term security and success, a principle that has served Jewish communities well throughout history. Lesson 5. Ownership is everything. In the tapestry of Jewish financial wisdom, few threads are as prominent as the principle of ownership. This fundamental concept extends far beyond merely possessing items. It encompasses the deep understanding that true wealth creation stems from owning assets that appreciate in value and generate ongoing returns. Throughout history, Jewish communities have emphasized the importance of transitioning from being wage earners to owners. This wisdom emerged from centuries of experience where tangible assets could be seized or lost, leading to a preference for developing ownership in diverse forms, from businesses and real estate to intellectual property and investments. This diversification strategy wasn't just about spreading risk, it was about creating multiple streams of value that could withstand the uncertainties of time and circumstance. The ownership mindset begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing solely on earning a salary, those who embrace ownership think in terms of acquiring assets that work for them. This might start with something as simple as purchasing a small rental property or investing in dividend-paying stocks. The key is to move beyond the paradigm of trading time for money and into the realm of owning assets that generate passive income. Real estate has traditionally been a cornerstone of Jewish wealth building, and for good reason. Property ownership provides multiple benefits: potential appreciation, rental income, tax advantages, and the ability to leverage equity for further investments. However, modern ownership opportunities extend far beyond physical property. Today, intellectual property, digital assets, and online businesses offer new avenues for building ownership-based wealth. Business ownership represents another crucial aspect of this principle. Whether starting a new venture or acquiring an existing one, owning a business provides control over one's financial destiny. Many successful Jewish entrepreneurs have built their wealth not by owning a single business, but by developing a portfolio of business interests. This approach allows for both risk mitigation and the potential for exponential growth. The ownership principle also applies to personal development and skills. By investing in education and expertise, one builds intellectual capital, a form of ownership that can never be taken away. This ownership of knowledge often translates into higher earning potential and the ability to recognize and capitalize on opportunities that others might miss. In the digital age, ownership has evolved to include new forms of assets. Cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and other digital properties have created novel opportunities for ownership and wealth creation. While these newer asset classes carry their own risks, they demonstrate how the principle of ownership continues to adapt to changing times while remaining fundamentally sound. The path to ownership often requires sacrifice and delayed gratification. It might mean living below one's means to save for a down payment on a property, or reinvesting business profits instead of taking larger distributions. However, these temporary sacrifices serve a greater purpose: building a foundation of owned assets that can generate wealth for generations to come. One of the most powerful aspects of ownership is its ability to create generational wealth. Owned assets can be passed down to children and grandchildren, providing them with a head start in their own financial journeys. This multiplier effect explains why many Jewish families have maintained and grown their wealth across generations. They understand that ownership isn't just about personal prosperity, but about creating lasting value that transcends individual lifetimes. The ownership principle teaches us to think like proprietors rather than consumers. It encourages us to ask not just what can I buy, but what can I own that will create value. This shift in mindset, combined with strategic action, forms the backbone of sustainable wealth creation. By prioritizing ownership in its many forms, we lay the groundwork for financial independence and lasting prosperity. Lesson 6. Time is money. Use it wisely. Time has always held sacred significance in Jewish tradition, where even a moment wasted is considered a precious resource squandered. This reverence for time extends deeply into the realm of wealth creation and management, where successful Jewish entrepreneurs and business leaders have consistently demonstrated the art of treating time as their most valuable currency. The ancient rabbinical teachings emphasize that time is the great equalizer. Everyone, regardless of their wealth or status, receives exactly 24 hours each day. What sets successful people apart is their approach to these hours. They understand that while money can be earned, saved, and recovered, time moves in only one direction. This wisdom has led to the development of sophisticated time management practices that maximize both productivity and meaning in life. Jewish business success often stems from the ability to recognize and capitalize on the value of different types of time. There's focused work time, learning time, family time, and rest time, each serving its unique purpose in building lasting wealth. The Sabbath itself exemplifies this wisdom, creating a rhythmic pause that allows for reflection, rejuvenation, and strategic thinking. This weekly reset has proven invaluable for maintaining clear judgment in financial decisions and preventing burnout that could derail long-term success. Successful Jewish entrepreneurs often practice what can be called time arbitrage, identifying opportunities where time invested now will yield disproportionate returns later. This might mean spending years mastering a craft, building relationships, or developing expertise in an emerging field before it becomes profitable. They understand that patience combined with persistent action creates compound returns not just in financial investments, but in knowledge, relationships, and opportunities. The concept of leveraging time extends to delegation and collaboration. Wealthy Jewish families often teach their children that true time wisdom isn't about doing everything yourself, but about orchestrating resources and relationships to multiply your impact. This might mean hiring experts, building teams, or creating systems that generate value even when you're not actively working. The goal is to break free from the direct exchange of time for money and create mechanisms that generate wealth independently. Time management in Jewish business practice also encompasses the art of timing, knowing when to act and when to wait. This involves studying cycles, trends, and patterns in markets and society. It's about recognizing that wealth creation often depends not just on what you do, but when you do it. This strategic patience, combined with readiness to act decisively when opportunities arise, has helped many Jewish businesses thrive through generations of economic changes. Modern application of these time principles requires adapting to today's fast-paced, technology-driven world while maintaining the core wisdom of deliberate time use. This means leveraging technology to automate routine tasks while preserving time for high-value activities that require human judgment and creativity. It means being selective about commitments and learning to say no to opportunities that don't align with your long-term wealth goals. The Jewish approach to time management also emphasizes the importance of investing time in relationships and community building. These connections often yield unexpected opportunities and support systems that prove invaluable in wealth creation. Every hour spent nurturing professional relationships, mentoring others, or contributing to community projects is viewed as an investment in social capital that can generate returns for generations. Perhaps most importantly, Jewish time wisdom teaches that true wealth includes having time for what matters most. This means structuring your work and investments to create not just financial freedom, but time freedom. The ultimate goal isn't just to make money, but to create a life where you control your time rather than being controlled by it. This balanced approach ensures that wealth serves its true purpose, enhancing life rather than consuming it. Lesson 7. Trade and entrepreneurship are noble. Throughout Jewish history, commerce and entrepreneurship have been viewed not merely as means of survival, but as noble pursuits that contribute to both individual prosperity and societal progress. This perspective stems from ancient teachings that recognize the dignity of trade and the value of creating sustainable businesses that serve communities. The Jewish approach to entrepreneurship begins with a fundamental understanding that business creation is a form of problem solving. Rather than viewing commerce as a zero-sum game, Jewish tradition encourages entrepreneurs to identify genuine needs in their communities and develop solutions that benefit all parties involved. This mindset has historically led Jewish merchants and business owners to pioneer innovative trading practices and create new market opportunities. Risk-taking, when calculated and strategic, is considered an essential element of wealth creation in Jewish business culture. However, this isn't about reckless speculation. It's about measured risk assessment based on careful analysis and deep market understanding. Jewish entrepreneurs traditionally develop expertise in their chosen fields, building knowledge networks and maintaining close connections with both suppliers and customers to minimize uncertainty while maximizing opportunity. The concept of adding value sits at the heart of Jewish entrepreneurial wisdom. Whether through manufacturing, trade, or services, the focus remains on creating genuine worth rather than merely extracting profit. This principle has guided countless Jewish business owners to build sustainable enterprises that withstand economic cycles and create lasting value for stakeholders. Networking and relationship building play crucial roles in the Jewish approach to business success. The emphasis on community connections helps entrepreneurs identify opportunities, gather market intelligence, and build trusted partnerships. These relationships often extend beyond immediate business transactions to create lasting bonds that benefit multiple generations. Innovation and adaptability are also key components of Jewish entrepreneurial wisdom. Throughout history, Jewish merchants and business owners have shown remarkable ability to pivot during challenging times, entering new markets and developing fresh business models when circumstances demand change. This flexibility, combined with a strong ethical foundation, has enabled many Jewish-owned businesses to thrive across generations. The Jewish perspective on entrepreneurship also emphasizes the importance of mentorship and knowledge sharing. Successful business owners often take it upon themselves to guide younger entrepreneurs, sharing insights and lessons learned through experience. This tradition of mentorship helps perpetuate successful business practices while fostering innovation and fresh thinking from new generations. Education in business matters extends beyond formal schooling to include practical experience and apprenticeship. Jewish entrepreneurs typically encourage their children and employees to understand all aspects of their business operations, from basic bookkeeping to complex strategy. This comprehensive approach to business education creates well-rounded entrepreneurs capable of making informed decisions and spotting opportunities. Perhaps most importantly, Jewish business wisdom teaches that entrepreneurship is not just about personal gain. It's about creating value for society while building sustainable wealth. This dual focus on profit and purpose has led many Jewish entrepreneurs to build businesses that not only generate financial returns, but also contribute meaningfully to their community's economic and social fabric. The modern application of these principles remains relevant in today's digital age. Whether launching a tech startup or opening a local service business, the fundamental Jewish approaches to entrepreneurship are immediately valued, building relationships, and maintaining ethical standards continue to provide a powerful framework for business success. These time-tested principles help entrepreneurs navigate the complexities of modern markets while building businesses that stand the test of time. Lesson 8. Wealth must serve purpose. Money without meaning is like a vessel without direction. It drifts aimlessly, serving no greater good. In Jewish tradition, wealth has never been viewed as an end in itself, but rather as a means to achieve higher purposes and create positive impact in the world. This principle fundamentally shapes how wealth is perceived, accumulated, and utilized within Jewish communities. The concept of being a steward rather than merely an owner of wealth runs deep in Jewish thought. When we view ourselves as caretakers of resources rather than absolute owners, it transforms our relationship with money. This perspective encourages us to ask essential questions. How can these resources best serve not just our immediate needs, but also our families, communities, and the broader world? What legacy do we wish to create with the wealth we've been blessed to steward? This mindset shift from ownership to stewardship naturally leads to more thoughtful and purposeful financial decisions. Instead of focusing solely on accumulation, we begin to consider the potential impact of every dollar. This might mean investing in businesses that align with our values, supporting causes that advance social justice, or creating opportunities for others to build their own path to prosperity. The wealth we steward becomes a tool for expressing our deepest values and creating meaningful change. Jewish wisdom teaches that wealth should flow like water. It should be dynamic and life-giving rather than stagnant. This metaphor suggests that money should circulate through various channels of purpose, some retained for personal security and growth, some invested in ventures that create value for others, and some directed toward charitable causes that nourish the community. This balanced approach ensures that wealth remains vital and generative, rather than becoming a burden or source of spiritual stagnation. The alignment of wealth with purpose also provides psychological benefits that extend beyond financial returns. When our financial decisions reflect our values and contribute to meaningful goals, we experience greater satisfaction and fulfillment. This alignment helps prevent the emotional emptiness that often accompanies the pursuit of wealth for its own sake. It transforms the acquisition and management of wealth from a potentially isolating endeavor into one that connects us more deeply with our values and communities. Creating a personal wealth mission statement can help crystallize this principle in practical terms. This statement should articulate not just financial goals, but the deeper purposes those goals serve. It might include provisions for family security, educational opportunities, community development, or support for causes you care about deeply. This mission statement becomes a compass for financial decisions, helping ensure that wealth accumulation serves your highest aspirations rather than becoming an end in itself. The principle of purposeful wealth also influences how we think about inheritance and legacy. Beyond passing down material assets, we must consider how to transmit the values and wisdom that give those assets meaning. This might involve creating family foundations, establishing charitable trusts, or developing mechanisms that ensure future generations understand and continue the purposeful use of wealth. In the modern context, this principle can guide us in navigating complex financial choices. When considering investments, we might look beyond mere returns to examine how companies contribute to social good. When building businesses, we might prioritize creating value for stakeholders alongside profits. When planning for retirement, we might consider how our accumulated wealth can continue serving meaningful purposes even after we've ceased active earning. The essence of wealth-serving purpose lies in recognizing that financial success brings both opportunity and responsibility. By consciously directing our resources toward meaningful ends, we transform wealth from a potential source of anxiety or excess into a powerful force for positive change. This approach ensures that our financial journey remains aligned with our deepest values and contributes to a legacy that extends far beyond material prosperity. Lesson 9. Avoid debt unless it's productive. In Jewish financial wisdom, debt is viewed with careful discernment, not as inherently evil, but as a powerful tool that demands respect and wisdom in its application. The ancient Jewish sages taught that borrowing carries both material and spiritual implications, affecting not just our wallet, but our peace of mind and relationships. The fundamental principle is straightforward. Debt should only be undertaken when it has the clear potential to increase your wealth or provide essential value that exceeds its cost. This wisdom has helped many Jewish families and businesses navigate financial decisions for generations, distinguishing between debt that builds and debt that binds. Productive debt is an investment that generates returns exceeding its cost. A mortgage on a property that appreciates in value while providing rental income represents productive debt. Similarly, a business loan that funds expansion, inventory, or equipment that will generate more profit than the interest payments is considered constructive borrowing. Educational loans that significantly increase earning potential also fall into this category, though they should be approached with careful calculation of future returns. However, consumer debt for depreciating assets or lifestyle expenses is viewed as destructive debt. Credit card balances carried month to month, auto loans for luxury vehicles, or borrowing for vacations create financial burdens without corresponding value creation. These forms of debt often reflect immediate gratification at the expense of long-term financial health, a pattern that traditional Jewish wisdom strongly cautions against. The concept of productive debt extends beyond mere numbers into the realm of personal growth and community benefit. When evaluating potential debt, Jewish tradition encourages considering not just the financial returns, but also the broader impact. Will this debt enable you to better serve your community? Will it create opportunities for others? Will it strengthen your family's long-term security? These questions help frame debt decisions within a larger context of purpose and value creation. Jewish financial practice also emphasizes maintaining significant margins of safety when taking on debt. The ability to repay should not depend on best-case scenarios, but should be sustainable even in challenging times. This conservative approach to leverage has helped many Jewish businesses survive economic downturns, while their more aggressively leveraged competitors failed. Debt itself holds a special place in Jewish financial teachings. The Torah prohibits charging interest between Jewish borrowers and lenders, highlighting the serious nature of debt and its potential to strain community relationships. While modern financial systems operate differently, the underlying principle remains relevant. Debt creates obligations that can affect not just finances, but also relationships and community bonds. Before taking on any debt, Jewish wisdom advocates for a thorough analysis of alternatives. Could the goal be achieved through saving instead of borrowing? Might partnerships or equity arrangements be more appropriate? Is there a way to start smaller and grow organically? These questions often lead to creative solutions that avoid the risks and constraints of debt while achieving similar objectives. When debt becomes necessary, the focus shifts to structured repayment plans. Jewish teaching emphasizes the moral obligation to repay debts promptly and fully. This commitment to honoring financial obligations has helped build the trust and reputation that frequently underlies Jewish business success. Creating clear repayment schedules, maintaining communication with lenders, and prioritizing debt service over discretionary expenses are practical applications of this principle. The wisdom of productive debt has enabled countless Jewish enterprises to grow and prosper while avoiding the pitfalls of excessive leverage. By carefully distinguishing between debt that builds wealth and debt that erodes it, following conservative borrowing practices, and maintaining strong repayment discipline, this approach to debt management continues to serve as a powerful tool for financial success and stability. Lesson 10. Honor contracts and commitments. In Jewish tradition, a person's word is considered sacred, and this principle extends deeply into the realm of business and wealth creation. The Hebrew concept of nemanut, trustworthiness, isn't just about keeping promises, it's about building a reputation that becomes an invaluable asset in itself. Throughout history, Jewish merchants and business people have understood that their word and signature carried weight far beyond any immediate transaction. This emphasis on honoring commitments stems from both religious teachings and practical wisdom. When you consistently fulfill your obligations, you create a network of trust that opens doors to opportunities that money alone cannot buy. In the business world, your reputation for reliability often precedes any formal introduction, and it can be the deciding factor in securing deals, partnerships, and investments. The modern business landscape may seem far removed from the handshake deals of previous generations, but the principle remains unchanged. Written contracts are simply formalized promises, and treating them with reverence demonstrates respect for both the agreement and the relationships they represent. This approach to business relationships creates a positive cycle. Honored commitments lead to trust, trust leads to more opportunities, and opportunities lead to increased wealth potential. Consider how this principle manifests in practical terms. When you make a payment on time every time, you're not just fulfilling a contractual obligation, you're investing in your reputation. When you deliver what you promise, exactly as promised, you're building a brand that speaks of reliability and integrity. These actions compound over time, creating a form of social capital that can be more valuable than financial capital. Jewish business wisdom teaches that contracts should be clear, fair, and beneficial to all parties involved. This approach isn't just ethical, it's smart business. When all parties feel they've entered into a fair agreement, they're more likely to honor their commitments and seek future opportunities to work together. This creates sustainable business relationships that can span generations. Technology has transformed how we conduct business, but it hasn't changed the fundamental importance of honoring commitments. In fact, in our interconnected world, word travels faster than ever about who can be trusted and who cannot. Social media, online reviews, and digital reputations have made it easier to track and verify reliability, making this principle even more crucial in the modern era. The Jewish approach to contracts also emphasizes the importance of clear communication and documentation. While trust is paramount, writing down agreements helps prevent misunderstandings and provides a clear reference point for all parties. This isn't about mistrust, it's about respect for the relationship and the commitment being made. This principle extends beyond formal business agreements to personal commitments as well. Whether it's a promise to a family member, a pledge to a charity, or a commitment to a personal goal, treating these promises with the same seriousness as a business contract builds character and credibility. This holistic approach to honoring commitments creates a foundation of trust that supports all aspects of wealth creation. Maintaining this level of integrity isn't always easy or convenient. There will be times when honoring a commitment comes at a personal cost. However, the long-term benefits of maintaining your reputation for reliability far outweigh any short-term gains from breaking your word. This is where wealth wisdom intersects with personal character. your integrity becomes one of your most valuable assets. In the Jewish tradition, the practice of honoring contracts and commitments isn't just about following rules or maintaining appearances. It's curating a sustainable framework for business success built on trust, respect, and mutual benefit. When you consistently honor your commitments, you're not just building wealth, you're building a legacy of trust that can create opportunities for generations to come. Lesson 11. Invest in community and legacy. The age-old Jewish practice of investing in community stems from a profound understanding that individual success is intrinsically linked to collective prosperity. Throughout history, Jewish communities have demonstrated that building strong social networks and institutions isn't just an act of altruism, it's a sophisticated wealth-building strategy that yields returns across generations. When you invest in your community, you're essentially creating a web of relationships, opportunities, and support systems that can sustain wealth through challenging times. This principle manifests in the establishment of community institutions like schools, cultural centers, and business networks. These investments serve multiple purposes. They provide essential services, create employment opportunities, and build social capital that can be leveraged for business and personal growth. The Jewish approach to community investment goes beyond mere financial contributions. It involves active participation, leadership roles, and the sharing of knowledge and expertise. This engagement creates what sociologists call social capital, a valuable resource that can be as important as financial capital in building and maintaining wealth. When you're actively involved in your community, you gain access to information, opportunities, and partnerships that might otherwise remain hidden. Legacy building through community investment takes many forms. It might mean mentoring young entrepreneurs, serving on boards of local organizations, or creating institutions that will serve future generations. This approach recognizes that true wealth isn't measured solely by the size of one's bank account, but by the lasting impact one makes on their community. Jewish tradition teaches that the highest form of charity is helping others become self-sufficient, and community investment provides the infrastructure for such empowerment. The modern application of this principle extends beyond traditional community boundaries. In today's interconnected world, your community might include professional networks, online groups, or international associations. The key is to identify where you can make meaningful contributions that create lasting value. This might involve starting a business that serves community needs, developing educational programs, or creating platforms that connect people with opportunities. Community investment also serves as a risk management strategy. When you're well integrated into a community, you have access to resources and support during challenging times. History has shown that Jewish communities have survived and thrived through adversity precisely because of their strong communal bonds and institutions. This resilience is built through consistent investment in community infrastructure and relationships. The legacy aspect of community investment ensures that wealth creation extends beyond individual success. By building institutions and systems that benefit future generations, you create a form of immortality through impact. This might include establishing scholarship funds, creating sustainable businesses that provide ongoing employment, or developing community assets that appreciate over time. Strategic community investment also involves identifying gaps and needs that, when addressed, can create economic opportunities. This entrepreneurial approach to community building has historically led to the development of successful businesses and institutions that serve both community needs and create wealth for their founders and stakeholders. By solving community problems, you position yourself at the intersection of social impact and financial success. The Jewish wisdom of community investment teaches us that wealth creation isn't a zero-sum game. When you invest in strengthening your community, you create an environment conducive to sustained prosperity for all. This multiplier effect means that your initial investment, whether of time, money, or expertise, can generate returns far beyond what might be possible through individual efforts alone. In this way, community investment becomes not just a moral imperative, but a strategic approach to building lasting wealth and significance. Lesson 12. Think long-term and act today. The ancient Jewish sages taught that true wisdom comes from seeing the end from the beginning. This profound principle applies powerfully to wealth creation and management. While many chase quick profits or short-term gains, generational wealth emerges from the delicate balance between immediate action and long-term vision. Consider the parable of the tree planter who knows he may never sit in its shade or eat its fruit. He plants anyway, understanding that future generations will benefit from his foresight. This metaphor perfectly captures the Jewish approach to wealth building, taking decisive action today while maintaining unwavering focus on the horizon ahead. The long view shapes every financial decision differently. Instead of asking, "What will make me the most money this month?" we ask, "What will create lasting value for decades to come?" This shift in perspective transforms how we invest, save, and allocate resources. A business owner might choose to reinvest profits into infrastructure rather than take larger distributions. An investor might select blue-chip stocks over speculative plays. A parent might fund education accounts before upgrading to a luxury car. Yet long-term thinking without immediate action leads nowhere. The Jewish tradition emphasizes that while we plan for the future, we must act in the present moment. Every day offers opportunities to move closer to our financial goals through concrete steps. This could mean setting up that retirement account today rather than waiting for the perfect time. It could mean having that difficult conversation about estate planning with aging parents. It could mean starting that side business you've been contemplating for years. The integration of future vision and present action creates a powerful momentum. When we take small, consistent steps guided by a larger purpose, we build habits and systems that compound over time. A monthly investment of even modest amounts sustained over decades can grow into substantial wealth. Regular networking efforts can blossom into valuable business relationships. Consistent learning in your field can lead to exponential career growth. Jewish wisdom teaches us to think in terms of generations, not quarters. This longer time horizon helps us weather market volatility and economic uncertainties with greater emotional stability. Instead of panicking during downturns, we see them as temporary phases in a much longer journey. This perspective helps us make rational decisions rather than emotional reactions to market movements. The concept of living in both time frames, present and future, extends beyond financial matters to all aspects of life. We build relationships knowing they may yield fruit years later. We maintain our health understanding that today's choices affect our vitality decades hence. We nurture our communities, recognizing that strong social fabric creates lasting economic opportunities. The synergy between long-term thinking and immediate action creates a framework for sustainable wealth creation. Each decision becomes part of a larger tapestry, woven with purpose and intention. This approach helps us avoid the twin traps of paralysis by planning and impulsive action without strategy. As you embrace this principle, begin by crafting your long-term vision. Where do you want to be in 20 or 30 years? What legacy do you wish to leave? Then work backward to identify the steps you can take today, this week, this month. Every journey begins with a single step, but that step must be in the right direction. This balance of patience and urgency, of vision and action, has helped Jewish communities thrive through centuries of challenges. By adopting this dual perspective, thinking long-term while acting today, you position yourself to build wealth that stands the test of time and creates meaningful impact for generations to come.